This is a Rutke Mods video. Hello, I'm Greg Rutke of Rutke Mods, and say hello to my 1,1 Mac Mini. This will be a topic to my new Mac Mini 1,1, 2,1 series. Yes, I'm starting up another Mac series. Though my original intentions were not to, I decided to start up another series based around another Mac. Now, I always wanted a Mac Mini, and the 1,1, 2,1s were very, very modifiable. Even the 3,1s. But the 1,1 is special. The 1,1 is one of the very first Intel Macs, which is a bit of a problem because it's 32-bit. The CPU is 32-bit. So that means that we are stuck on 10.6.8. But in the course of this series, I will be showing you ways to upgrade it to make it run 64-bit for really, really cheap. And in fact, hopefully by the end of the series, I'll be running El Capitan on it, even though it probably won't be running very great. Now, I literally bought this computer less than 2 days ago on eBay for $67. The seller had unbelievable shipping time. From the minute I hit purchase to the second I picked it up from my front door was roughly 14 hours. I didn't even pay for next day shipping. It was just here in roughly 14 hours. It was incredible. Now this system is unbelievable. It's an early 2006 Mac Mini. This was the most powerful Mac Mini you could buy in March of 2006 when this was made. There was one other Mac Mini 1,1 that was faster, but that didn't come out until September. This one was built in March. It has a 1.66 gigahertz Intel Core Duo, 2 gigabytes worth of DDR2 RAM, and a 100 gigabyte hard drive. The original owner special ordered this, which makes this extra special. For $67, I got a heck of a deal. This had never been opened. This came with all these parts. The base model from 2006 that had this processor in it cost $799. With all the upgrades this came with, it was probably more around $1,200 new. Now, this is a very modifiable system, and I'll eventually be doing a Core 2 Duo swap in it. But right now, this is still 100% original, except for last night I pried it open for the very first time in its life to swap the wireless G Wi-Fi module out, the original airport card, for a wireless in Broadcom airport card from a 5,2 MacBook, the early 2009 model. I had a parts one that I used to rebuild my MacBook, and that was a spare module. The reason why I upgraded the Wi-Fi module was because the original wireless G module is pretty slow and it has a much weaker Wi-Fi signal. Plus the module I replaced it with works great with 10.6 and it's 100% natively supported. Now let's take a look at the Mac itself. Here's the system. It came with a 2.4 times super drive, which means it can burn dual-layer DVDs, even though for some reason I can't seem to get it to burn with my dual-layer DVDs. They probably just are too new and not compatible. This drive works 100%. Perfect. This whole system is nearly mint. There's a few little gunk parts, little tape glue here and there, light scratching on the top, but a little Goo Gone will get rid of those. And I could buff the scratches out if I wanted to, but who cares? This was taken care of incredibly. Now on the back, we have a power connector for the power brick, which is a 110 watt power brick, a gigabit Ethernet port, a Firewire 400, a DVI display connection, and 4 USB 2.0 ports with a line out and a headphone jack. Other than the bottom being a little dirty, this thing is immaculate. And I'll show you some pictures right now. These were pictures from last night when I was actually opening it up to swap out the airport card. As you can see, there is no dust in it. This had never been opened, and it was like brand new on the inside. Like I said before, I got a smoking deal on this because there is ones on eBay going for $75 or more, not including shipping, with half the power and half the RAM in it. This system is literally maxed out. 2 gigabytes is the highest you can go on a 1,1. But later in the series, I will be actually going to 3 gigabytes, which is the max for the chipset. And the way we're doing that is we're going to be updating the EFI in this to a 2,1 when we put the Core 2 Duo in it. So that will be a fun experience, and you'll get an extra gig of RAM out of it, which is a great thing, especially if we're going to be running 64-bit, because that's more labor intensive on RAM. Now this series is going to be based around this, but it's going to be addressing all 32-bit CPU Macs, not just this one. So this series is going to be kind of a mix between this and just any 32-bit CPU Mac. I'll be showing you how to install things like Windows 10 32-bit and make it work nearly 100% perfectly with all controls and all boot camp working, which translates into we will have to put Boot Camp 4 on it, which of course was designed for Windows 7. And I'll show you how to do that and make it work properly. Also, the other reason why I'm making this series is not just to show you how to put Windows on it. I want to cover real quick why this system is still pretty viable if you want a cheap computer just to do light things on. Also, this sucker can be used as a media server. And in fact, I got it running 1080p MP4 files earlier today, and it ran them fine, which I was actually shocked over. This system's pretty darn good for being as old as it is, and one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is to show you if you're stuck with one of these. For instance, this system is upgradable. The iMac is upgradable, but the MacBooks aren't. They all have the basic same CPUs in them. If you have a MacBook Pro 1,1, a MacBook 1,1, you can't swap out the CPUs in them because they're soldered onto the board. So this series is for you mostly because if you still want to use your systems as a daily device, you can run the newest copy of Windows on it and make it work 100%, where you're stuck with OS X 10.6.8, which of course hasn't been updated since around 2011 and lost mainstream support over 3 operating systems ago. It's an old system that's not going to be updated anymore. In fact, Firefox stopped supporting it as of August, even though you can still download the newest one. The next update, you will not be able to use the newest update on. So that is the last web browser that I know of that you can run new on this, and pretty soon you can't. So, for you 32-bit CPU Mac users out there, I'll show you how to make it modern and make it work great. And for all you guys that can swap out the CPUs and upgrade them, I'll also show you how to do that later in the series. But right now, let's stick with the 32-bit CPU mods and hacks. And I'll just show you some tips and tricks on how to make this work great. Anyway, that is the end of this video, and thank you for watching. This has been a Rutke Mods video. Dual layer DVDs, even though I can't seem to get it to burn them. Oops.